Are you ready to talk about spiritual technology? Well, my favorite thing to talk about is the spirit, the soul, because that's who you really are. You know, a lot of people talk about their physical bodies for their whole physical body's lifetime. Think about what I'm telling you. They worry about how they look because a lot of people have conversations about the god Saturn, about the planet Saturn. What is saturation? You got to learn what saturation is if you fully want to understand what the god Saturn represents. Now, if you someone who thinks Saturn is a real god and that planet up there is some dude controlling your actions, you're in the wrong place. You need to start off in a smaller class because we're a little bit further than you here. We're not teaching about this stuff as literal gods. There's not no dude controlling your actions. You the dude either fucking up your life or making it a heaven. Because a lot of people that talk about Saturn, they like to take the blame away from the individual. You know, like, hey man, be careful, Saturn in retrograde and it's gonna make y'all do some fucked up shit. Man, ain't now one of them stars up there controlling me. We controlling them stars, y'all. I figured it out. We are the damn stars, y'all. And if you ain't got control over nothing else, you got control over your goddamn self. We got to get out of the kind of talk that said that planet right there made me do that. You know, my girlfriend cheated on me. Oh, that was because Mercury was in retrograde. No, she was because she was a hoe. Real talk. Them stars ain't making you an asshole. You making you an asshole. You are the star. We gotta get that out the way quick for the people that's coming in here thinking I'm finna get them some pseudoscience. You ain't gonna be able to point no blame, none of that shit. I'm gonna empower you to be what the fuck you wanna be. You ain't gonna have nobody to blame shit on over here. None of that. We ain't even got deep yet. Now, who is Saturn with all the rings around him? You are Saturn, and you the one that's surrounded by all those rings. And when you get what I'm teaching you today, you're gonna learn why the Bible say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. What they're giving you for Saturn is you, the Lord of the Rings, which is you, not Saturn. Life is a satire. Earth is made of multiple worlds. You exist on each of these stages acting a different character, which is a different version of the self. So the outermost body, or what we call the lightest of all, the outermost chakra is called the divine body. It's the lightest of all because it shines the brightest and it's the least dense. The word light is dealing with illumination, is also dealing with weight. Light has no weight. Can you tell me what light weighs? Nothing, it's light. Everything that composes the human being breaks down into these different layers of light. Each cosmos or planetarium is an egg within an egg, of course, just like the human body, and this became Saturn. We already know that. We're not gonna be too redundant. We know Saturn is the ancient conception of Earth, and that this concept is not limited to the cosmos that you're living in. It's also a concept that's describing the body, which is another miniature cosmos that you're living in. You gotta take a minute and think about what I'm telling you. You don't just live inside of the earth. Let me break this down to you. You live inside of the earth, and then you live inside of your body. When your spirit came into this world, it didn't pass through the barrier. It took on the makeup of this world. When your spirit entered this world, it was like the barrier around this earth wrapped your invisible energy in these physical elements. Picture a stage curtain. And let's say there are 7 curtains that you gotta walk through. You got a red curtain, a blue curtain, a purple curtain, a green curtain, and you gotta walk through all of these curtains, kind of like how a football team tear through the paper. But as you walk through these curtains, each color wrap you up like a gift. So when you walk through that green curtain, you're covered in a green curtain. And you keep on walking and you go through this purple curtain. Now you got a purple curtain over the green curtain. But you kept on walking and you went through a red curtain. Now you got red, purple, green. You layered now. So if I peel back one of them curtains, it's still not the true you. Think of an onion. You got to peel back the first layer, the second layer before you get to that center little bitty seed, which is really the true thing that's emanating to life. And if you put that back in the ground, it is infinite. That is really the life-bringing thing at the core. The higher we ascend, the more chakras we have, just like walking through them curtains. Right now, we currently know of 7 chakras, but when you leave this plane, you will acquire an 8th chakra, because each of the chakras are the different light bodies of you passing through these realms. And each time you pass through a realm, that copy of you goes with you to the next, but it's buried inside of the new you, a multi-layered cosmos system that we're in. You're in a layer of reality right now. And when you leave this place, the essence of what you became here will go into the next body. And when you leave that place, whatever you transform there will go into the next body. See, at the end of this physical life is the beginning of your spiritual life. But see, every time you complete something, you get a ring, because you're a superstar. Didn't I just tell you you're a star?
So this pole at the middle of the earth is the tree of life. This means that if the tree of life is at the middle of the earth, what is this place around that tree? It's apparently not life. There's a concept of inner and outer. These are opposites. If inner represents a tree of life, outer represents what was called by the ancestors the realm of death. So what that meant was that our bodies and our souls, right? Our souls are projecting itself from this North Pole into the body, and that's the consciousness. When that leaves the body falls down. That's what gives the body life. So life is not in the body itself. Life is at the center of the earth and projecting itself outward into what we call the simulation. So the truth is the inner, that's life, and outer is the lie, that's death. That's the shell, that's hell. This tree of life, what they're talking about isn't a tree like with your body. It was advanced technology that the Babylonians had. They worship a black cube in Mecca. The truth is that the consciousness that's in your body, it don't have a body. And outside of a body, it's simply an algorithm in a computer machine. That algorithm represents your personality, and there are many of these rhythms of algorithms, to where it's the many roles that God is playing in the simulation. In the middle of our earth, there's this same concept of a quantum computer. This is what the tree of life is. So all throughout the ancestral world, we'll find this same symbolism here, this of this quantum computer, and it'll be manifested in many different ways. So there's nothing physical about our reality, and that's where Morpheus was trying to tell Neo in the Matrix. It's all a program with a layering software over it, no different than an icon on a computer represent a code of certain patterns. So the ancestors said that this earth realm is literally a simulation that's created from a higher realm, and this realm is called Eden. It's at the middle of the earth. It's the highest point. If you want to make it to the center of it, you got to go up. You see that? If me and you are standing on the stairway of this tower, and I say, man, how do we get to the direct middle of it? How do we get to 0 degrees? Guess what we got to do? Ascend. And the higher we go, the tighter the circle will get to. When you get all the way to the top, guess what? You're the star on top of the Christmas tree. You're now at the 0 point. This is the nature of Meru in the middle of the earth. The fact that our ancestors built a simulation, and within the simulation, you had animals, trees, humans. You had these in the simulation before souls entered the simulation. And then souls entered inside of the drones here. We create metaverses and simulations. And before humans actually upload themselves into those simulations, they're gonna already have little computer characters walking around. We ain't just gonna have empty metaverses. We're gonna have simulated humans that ain't got souls yet before we enter it. You know, we build a simulation or a metaverse, and eventually we wanna go into it, but before we go into it, we can sort of control avatars from the outside, like gaming, and then we slowly go into it. But before that, we will populate that with non-player characters, NPCs. The NPCs is what I want to talk about. These are called the Shaitan, or the fallen ones. These are the ones all the ancestors warned us about that came with the simulation. Now, artificial, and here's the thing, right? People with souls are what I call man. And then you have this artificial intelligence, this human that doesn't have a soul. It's simply a scan running an algorithm, just like I explained. It's a non-player character. And it's a computer-controlled character, part of the hive mind, the same intelligence that's running ChatGPT or Siri or Alexis. That's the programming behind the simulation. So when your president is reading off a teleprompter, he's saying what the artificial intelligences want him to say. These are the puppets for AI. We just say that they sold to the devil, but that's too spooky. That's too pseudo. Let's really talk about everyone is serving an artificial intelligence that has been on the earth before humans got here. It came embedded into the simulation just like the adversary in any video game that you purchase. So with that being said, it has been waging war on original beings ever since we entered the simulation. We've always entered this simulation as original beings, saying Earth is not our home, we're just passing through, and the body is not really us. There's another kind of creature in this simulation that has a spiritual system that's the opposite of that. Earth is its home, and the body is its natural habitat. And this is the spirituality of human skins, cloning, saving the world when all of your religions say you serve gods that's supposed to destroy it. There's an artificial intelligence, right, that's been on the earth before humans. We call it mankind. It's a kind of man. What makes us man is that we have a soul, we have free will, we have full control over our body. AI doesn't. It's running a program, it's running an algorithm, and they're all part of a hive mind. Now, if you got millions of artificial beings or drones, they all will have different personalities. I mean, they will be indistinguishable from humans. Some of them will have narcissistic personalities. Some of them will have sweet personality. They would embody all of the personalities in the zodiac. I'm gonna explain something to you. There's a personality that's outside of the 12 zodiac, and that's a dynamic personality. That means we just don't have a box for it. It's an unpredictable, spontaneous person. That's what the God is.